Now, we've all seen the news articles where people are in a coma and they're emotionally separated from their family, and that's because they cannot interact because they're unconscious. And yet, thousands of people every single day will actually purposely be put into a coma. The reason why is because it's a common anesthetic procedure. It's used to reduce pain and stress, so you're not moving and you're not hurting while doctors try to perform their procedures. I actually plan on getting a Bachelor's of Science majoring in biology and pursuing an anesthetic career. And I plan to explain what anesthesiology is, why it's used, and even some of the dangers. Now, there is a point to having this medically induced coma, and I need to clarify why. In case you find yourself needing anesthesia, it's good to be a bit informed about it. There are three types. There's local, regional, and general. Sleep is not the same as being under. Sleep, you're able to be woken up by outside stimuli such as pain or even noise. And according to Dr. J. Anderson's 1988 article called Reversal Agents of Sedation, general anesthesia is a medically induced coma that is only able to be reversed by drugs. Joseph Nordquist, in his 2014 medical journal called What is Local Anesthesia, goes into details that local anesthetics are only used for general areas of pain. The most common is actually a pain patch. This one is lidocaine, and the ending stem, according to Rob Kiemrich, who is a medical doctor, in her article from 2015 called Local and Regional Anesthesia. The reason why it has the ending cane is because it is a synthetic derivative of cocaine. Regional, also in Robin Kiemrich's article, is used in a larger area, but you're still conscious. For instance, an epidural is the most common type. General anesthesia, according to Dr. Christopher Press from Genetic Anesthesia, his 2016 article, he says that general anesthesia is a medical-induced coma, and it does require drugs in order to bring you out of it. Knowing what anesthesia is only the first step. The second part is knowing how to put it into action. The best plan of action is suited specifically for you. Your type of procedure is also affected by what you need done. For instance, if you just need a few stitches, you're not going to be put under. Even if you're nervous, they're probably just going to give you a relaxant along with your local anesthesia. And if you're in labor, even if you need a cesarean section where you need an actual surgery to be cut open, you're still only getting a regional epidural instead of being put under because it is dangerous for the child. So you will still be conscious. Anesthesia is also affected by allergies, past reactions, and even pre-existing conditions. If you have a liver problem, you're going to need less anesthetic just because your liver breaks down toxins in your body. Therefore, they're going to give you less. Your metabolism, weight, and your genetics also affect it. If you have a family member that is very sensitive or even allergic to anesthesia, there's a higher risk that you are too. With weight and genetics, if you have higher weight or if you're taller, you're going to need a higher dosage or you're going to need the dosage more often in order to keep you under. And while red hair is also based on genetics, it does not matter. The genetic has nothing in common with needing more anesthesia, despite the myth. Now, the different reactions and the needs for patient means that there is also a risk of miscalculations, therefore the dosage just may be wrong. With this miscalculations also comes many, many risks. For instance, according to Stephen Orbach's 2012 book called Understanding Anesthesiology, it is just as important to pick your anesthesiologist as your surgeon because they are part of perioperative care, which means they take care of you before, after, and during your surgery. During the surgery, they're watching your stats, your oxygen, your blood pressure, your heart rate, and make sure it all stays in the optimal areas. If it's out of optimal area, then they have to know how to react properly and quickly in order to keep you healthy. With local and regional anesthetics, you have the risk of pain, bruising, hematoma, which is blood pooling under the skin, infections, and even nerve lacerations if the anesthesiologist accidentally goes through a nerve completely with a needle. You also have central nervous system toxicity, or CNS. The higher that the lidocaine levels are to your blood and your bloodstream, like 1 to 5 micrograms per milliliter, is a low rate CNS. You'll have dizziness, even hallucinations, When you start getting to the extreme levels, like 20 to 25 micrograms per milliliter, you can go into respiratory depression. You can have focal seizures, which is a seizure in one part of your brain. And if it is not taken care of, it becomes a grand mal seizure, which is full body. With general anesthesia, you have to worry about respiratory depression, which is where you have high acidosis and hypoxia, which just means that you have a high amount of carbon dioxide in your bloodstream, and it causes oxygen to be unable to travel to your tissues properly. Now, with this basic knowledge, I hope you're more prepared if you ever require anesthesiology, though I hope you never have to. It is commonly used in daily surgeries to handle pain, and it is important to talk to your doctor about the options. They do have your best in mind, so with that, in your mind, as you're aware of that, Hippocrates says, wherever the art of medicine is lived, there's also a love for humanity.